Hello, everyone, and happy World Cup Day for England. It's a big day today as they face their first match in Qatar, the very controversial World Cup. So if you do have any opinions on it, whether that be from the fact that it is even there, given all their human rights views on things and what's been happening on the build-up to it, with people losing their lives, and also on the fact that fans are going all the way from their accommodation, which is a little bit different to any other World Cup accommodation we've seen, and the fact that now they can't drink beer in stadiums, and in the fan zones it costs £12 for a pint. So there's lots to talk about on that subject. So if you do have any questions about it, then do let us know in the comments and then we can get them answered for you. But we are joined by the whole Pastry Hot Topics panel. Looking beautiful, girls, looking beautiful. Okay, it's a big week. We've got I'm a Celeb. They've had the first couple of evictions. We saw that Cristiano Ronaldo interview with Piers Morgan, which sent shockwaves around the world, as well as to Man United. I think they've been quite surprised about that one. And Harry and Meghan Christmas documentary, apparently. A bit of viewing across Christmas on a few days off for some of us. If you're working over that period, then perhaps you'll be catching up at some point. But yes, lots to talk about today. So if you do have any questions for our panel, then do pop them in and we can bring them up accordingly. And we have our hot seat, which you guys loved last week, which we get to ask Kate. Any questions you'd like to ask her, then pop them in the comments section and we can get them answered. But girls, we're going to start with Qatar. Will you be watching England this afternoon? Jess?
No, probably not. If it was the weekend and it was on at the pub or something, then yeah, but I don't live with anyone that likes football and I don't really like it. So no, I'm not watching it.
No, but it will be across all of the front pages, we're sure. Chloe, will you be watching it?
Just to pick out my future husband. That's literally the only reason I'm going to put that on the screen.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll be very much in demand when they come back if they do bring it home. Kate, will you be watching?
I wouldn't go out my way to watch it, but it is going to be on in where I live. Got football fans, so I'll see a bit of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, we will see lots of it, I'm sure. But girls, I'm sure you're aware of the fact that the Qatar royal family decided 2 days before the opening ceremony to stop selling beer in their stadium, despite the fact they've had, massive sponsorship deals from various beer companies to sell at £12 a pop as well. So do you think this is a bit unfair on fans? Or do you think that you agree with them that, they should respect their culture and alcohol very much does come within that realm, Kate?
I mean, originally they had like a sponsorship deal and they were meant to sell it. They were meant to sell beer. So I think it's a bit unfair, especially 2 days before. Isn't beer part of going to a football match? I mean, that's what I think.
Well, it is in England, that's for sure. There is that massive sort of, a drinking culture. All of the pubs will be rammed before a big match, and then supporters and stuff do go on. But they have said on the build up to this that they would allow zones, and then there would be zones for people who had too much to drink, an enclosed zone, as it were. So yeah, there's been lots of build up. Chloe, do you think it's a bit unfair? They're hosting a World Cup for countries who do have different cultural views on things, and that does include alcohol.
It's unfair. I actually stick by it. It's their rules, their country, and we've got to respect that. And I think it's nice of them to even do it in the car park, like for us. So they're not exactly banning it all. Like they've come to some agreement for us. But yes, it is the tradition to hold a beer. But we can just do it for them at our homes today. So yeah.
That's true. We can drink if we're not in Qatar today at home. If you did fancy a late lunchtime booze, then that is there. Jess, do you think it's unfair? Do you have a differing opinion?
No, I can see from both sides. So I don't obviously it's rubbish if you've gone out there to drink and then at last minute when you've paid for everything and your flights, accommodation, then the whole kind of trip is going to be switched up because you can't drink. But also you are in that you are in that neck of the woods. So you don't really want to be getting too drunk anyway. They might be doing the British football fans a favour. And the worst case, they can just go out afterwards. So it's probably for the best. But if I bought tickets because I wanted to go over there and get drunk, not that I would do that in Qatar, I wouldn't be happy.
No, yeah, I wouldn't be either. But I think also people who are going over there have to understand it is a very different culture. And if they did book tickets to get drunk, I don't think this is the World Cup to go to do that, because they have been quite clear on that. And they can still go to fan zones. As you said, they can go out later if they wanted, go back to a fan zone and drink all they like at £12 a pop.
They put it out there quite fairly, Pan, I think, because they don't like alcohol in their country. Like, they've put it out there quite fairly, and I really respect that. Yeah, and I think it's a great idea. People might be drunk, having fights. It will stop a lot of things. Yeah,
it would. It really would. Yeah. Okay, and Qatar has been quite controversial. Everything from the lead up to the bid, the fact they got the bid for this World Cup, with its views on human rights. Everything from the LGBTQ plus community to the way that they treat women within their culture. The list does go on. Girls, what do you think about the fact that Qatar is holding a World Cup on an international stage? Kate?
I think to host an international sport, especially the World Cup, the country needs to meet a certain threshold of human rights, and in this case I don't think it's met it, so I don't think it should even be in Qatar personally. And I think we actually had a similar question on Hot Topics before about the bands they wore, and I think I said yeah, it should be there, but I kind of looked into it a lot more and I was just horrified, so I'm surprised it's even there.
Yeah, that this is
the best country to have it in, to be honest. Yeah.
And especially the fact that it does have international guests, and there will be lots and lots of fans going over. Jess, are you surprised that Qatar, got chosen, and it's still going ahead, and fans are still going out there, and our England team, who have very different values to that of Qatar as a country? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I do think it's a bit random, and it's obviously not the best place for it, but I guess as long as everyone keeps buying tickets and tuning in, it's not going to stop. So it'll probably always be this way now, like the country or area with the most money and most power is going to be there. So I think because nobody's really making a stand against it. I know that Joe Lycett guy, he really tried. The guy that shredded the 10,000.
Yeah.
He tried, but it doesn't work. So I guess just have to accept it, and that's that. But no, I don't think it's good, because also it doesn't make the games accessible. If it was somewhere like Belgium or England or France, then people can kind of just get an EasyJet flight over. But to go to Qatar, that's such a international flight. It does steal it away a little bit. But
yeah, you do make a very good point, Chloe.
I think that even if you can drink in them little places or whatever, I think I'd be too scared, because the country's rules are so strict, so I would not want to go over my limit at all. So I just don't even think I'd bother.
No.
So I know what I get so I would never. I'd be too scared to pick up.
You wouldn't put yourself in.
I wouldn't want to. It's really strict. I couldn't.
And just, you make a really good point about Joe Lycett. The fact, so he is a comedian. I'm not sure if we do have any imagery on this. Absolutely fine if not. But he is a comedian who basically said, David Beckham, if you carry on with your Qatar partnership in order to give sponsorship for the country, which adds up apparently to about 10 million for this, then I am going to shred £10,000. But if you do pull out of your partnership, then I'll give £10,000 to LGBTQ plus charities. Now, David didn't pull out of his £10 million partnership, and therefore he put the £10,000 into a chip Wooder shredder last night, and £10,000 was gone. Now, some people are saying this is a cost of living crisis. We get it. You've made your point, but surely you should have just given the £10,000 to charity anyway. But we're speaking about it now. Kate, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think he should have given it to charity, definitely.
Okay. Chloe, do you see the point he made there?
Yeah. Should have gave it to charity too, yeah.
Yeah. Jess, do you agree with him at all on any level for doing this?
Yeah, to some extent. I think there's two sides to it. So like one side is someone could go to Dubai or anywhere and blow 10K and it's their money, so we don't have a right to say like, oh, you shouldn't have spent it on that. So if he was trying to make a point for a bigger cause, then it's his money, he can do what he wants. And also he's got everyone talking about it, which is like it's marketing. So he's basically just spent 10K on a marketing campaign. So although it is really poor taste and it's really crass, because there's people that would literally kill for that, there is two sides to it. But also, I don't think that you should emotionally blackmail celebrities into doing what you want them to do, because that could start a slippery slope.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. All in all, I don't agree with it, but I see why he did it.
Yeah, that's a very good point, and that's a whole nother topic that we could talk about, emotionally blackmailing celebrities. And this is something that David Beckham, I'm sure lots and lots of talks, and yes, he is already rich, but it's very difficult to turn down £10 million. Very difficult. And he's given lots of money to charity over the years. But yes, any comments on any of this World Cup controversy, then please do let us know in the comments before the game kicks off very soon. Okay, we're going to take a look at a poll now to see what you guys thought. If we can. Do you think it's fair on fans to ban beer in stadiums in Qatar, with all things considered in regards to their culture? No, 80%. Yes, 20%. So there we go. But I think it'd be very different for us if we were there. I'm sure we'd think slightly differently. I'd be a bit annoyed if I got a ticket knowing I could get a beer there and then have the right to having a beer taken away from me, because I do like a bit of a drink when I watch a sporting game. But there we are. Okay, we're going to move on from the World Cup now, and we're going to talk about I'm a Celebrity. It has had thousands of viewers, but Charlene and Scarlett were the first ladies to leave the camp. They got evicted. They didn't get enough votes to save them, unfortunately. So they were the first to leave the camp. Chloe, are you sad to see them go? I'm a bit sad to see them go, to be honest.
To see them go at all. I'm happy.
Oh, you tell.
Well, I just think, what was the first lady what went out? What was her name again? Charlene. I just think she got on my nerves a bit. God, she gave me a headache. She just thought, I don't know, she was well bossy, and like she was proper come in there like in her job role, like proper like. I don't think she came in there being herself. Like she proper, the way she handled the Matt Hancock thing. Like in the end, she said like, yeah, she likes him and stuff now. But I just think she just came in there being really bossy and in her job role, and it just really annoyed me. I think they was really like a little bit digging, like the older ones are digging on the younger ones too much, and so I was happy for her to go. See you later. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. So we've had lots of comments similar to that. She was too bossy, but on the final showing of the episode, she said the reason why I didn't share an RV with Matt Hancock was because of the fact that when I come out of here and I go back to my job role, the one that you're referring to, Chloe, as like an anchor and a host, I can't be impartial when I give interviews if I've shared the same room as him going to bed. But then on the other flip side of the coin, it does beg the question that could potentially, that could have potentially come up when she got booked for the show. So I do kind of see both sides to this. I think it's a shame we didn't see her more in it, because she is fantastic. Jess, what do you think about this?
I didn't really care so much for her. I think she was a bit like out of my age bracket, but I really liked what's the young girl called?
Scarlett.
Yeah, Scarlett. I really liked her. So that's really sad that she's gone. I thought she'd be a favourite to win.
Yeah, so did I.
Sunday. So yeah, very, very sad to see her go. I wish I voted for
her. I liked her, but again, I don't think she was a very big personality in it. I think she sort of like, we didn't see her much on camera. I don't know, she's not one of the big like personalities in it, but she's a lovely girl. Wish all the best, bless her, on the holiday program and that. But yeah.
And she was visibly very upset. Kate, do you feel sorry for her?
For being evicted last night? No, not. I kind of had the vibe that she thought she was going to win or be in the top kind of 4 or 5. I felt like I didn't, like Chloe said, I didn't really see her enough to form that much of an opinion. So maybe that's why she was voted out so early. As for Charlene, I'm kind of glad she went, to be honest. I think there's a few people in there who are really unreasonable and nasty to Matt Hancock, and she's one of them. So,
yeah, I think it was a bit like a bullying going on there towards him, weren't there? You're gorgeous bloke, Kate. Yeah.
Okay, so you'd even verge on to say bullying, but all she did was ask a couple of questions, which we all did kind of want to know, surely, because otherwise he wouldn't have been booked to go in the jungle. She was asking the questions that we all wanted to know.
I don't know, the way she was saying it and stuff, maybe a bit like intimidating. Maybe it's right on live TV. Yeah, Matt Hancock's done bad stuff, but I thought he was a pretty nice guy in here, and I like him. Yeah, and I wish all the best with him with Kate. Really, if he dumps his girlfriend, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, that's definitely going to divide people. Jess, thoughts on Matt Hancock?
I don't like him. Sorry, Kate. I just don't. He's just a person like everybody else, but I personally don't like him. I just think he's like a slimy weasel. Even if he wasn't the job that he did or like the stuff that he's done, and he was just like, I don't know, a famous lawyer or something, I'd still be like, oh, he's bad vibes. He's quite slippery and just untrustworthy, beady eyes, in my opinion. But who knows? Maybe he is.
Yeah, and I think lots of people do feel that way, but their opinion has changed on him as we've gone in. Chloe, yours has changed.
And I just thought he was really like all into politics and stuff like that. But yeah, I think he's had a good old laugh in there, and I think he's really like been like really cool, going from the trials. He's done so well in the trials and that. And I honestly wish him the best for it. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought he was going to come on, and I thought he was going to be one of them boring old like people who are all serious and that. But he's actually quite funny to watch in that. So yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, that will definitely intrigue people. I see he's got lots and lots of love online, so I'm sure he'll be very happy about that. And
I think people have changed a little bit their opinion on him. I think this was a good idea, him coming on there. Actually, at first I didn't think it was a good idea, but actually now I do, because so people can actually kind of see him for him, and like he said, he's made mistakes, and that's that. Do you know what I mean?
Big mistakes to make.
Yeah.
Big mistakes to make. Okay, we're going to move on from I'm a Celeb now. I'm sure we'll see lots more people going out. Boy George is somebody that's been spoken about a lot online. What do you think about him? Let us know. We're going to move on to another well-spoken about person. Well, two very well-spoken about people. Piers Morgan and Cristiano Ronaldo. Piers Morgan interviewed the famous footballer last week on his show Uncensored, which apparently means that all of his shows and all of his guests are uncensored. Well, Cristiano Ronaldo was uncensored, putting it that way. He very much slated Man United, and he gave the opinions as to why he did so. I think you can catch up with the show on YouTube, but we're going to discuss it. Did you watch it? What do you think about it? We want to know. Kate, what did you think about this whole interview? Was it right to slam his employer, Man United?
I think he was a bit disrespectful at times to obviously Man United and what he said about the manager and the other players. However, I do think he was treated unfairly quite a bit, and he's just brought light to that. So I'm a bit on the fence about it, to be honest.
Okay. Jess, would you slam your employer?
No, especially if they were paying me that much. I don't know, it's just kind of, again, it's just really poor taste. Like, didn't he mention something about the fact they've got the same like chefs there that they've had for the past decade? It's just stuff that's like, oh my God, you've got so much money. There's so much like suffering and poverty in the world. Just get a grip. But I don't really know what else he said. I probably just listened to like the cherry picked bits of it. But he got a £1 million fine for that now, so he's probably learned his lesson. Or not, because £1 million.
Or not, because £1 million. Yeah, £1 million to him actually probably isn't that much money in the country, which is wild, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you make a good point. Chloe, what did you think about this interview? Was it, in your opinion, distasteful, or did you understand Cristiano's perspective?
Understands Cristiano's perspective, because wasn't they annoyed with him for having time off or something because his like daughter was ill, or have I think I read something like that.
I think we need to be careful on the actual quotes of it, but he did definitely mention the horrible tragic passing of his daughter, and Piers did very much express his sympathies there too, and he did explain the reaction from the club, which is much debated apparently, but yeah, he did share his view on that.
He's been through like a lot, and I do think we should like obviously what he's been through is really sad and stuff, so yeah, but I don't actually know what he said to Piers.
Yeah, he well, I mean, it was a big interview. It was cut into two parts. He explained, when he got there, how it was great at the beginning, and basically how it's just slowly, with a combination of things, not been such a good experience for him. But now, he will be playing in the World Cup. So they'll have to deal with it when he gets back from the World Cup. Perhaps space is needed. Sometimes you just need space, don't you? But we're going to have a look at a poll now to see what you guys thought on this topic. Do you think Cristiano Ronaldo is right to slam his employer Man United, or was it disrespectful? Yes, they think it was right to slam his employer. 64% no, 36%, but that's football fans for you. They are divided. Okay, well, we're going to move on from Cristiano Ronaldo, as we'll be seeing him lots on our screens over the next couple of weeks with the World Cup. And we're going to move on now onto Harry and Meghan. They've obviously been having to film their documentary with Netflix, and their big deal with Netflix to make them financially independent. They had to do a few things to do this. One of them is a documentary following basically what they do day to day. And there's been lots of stories over this, but they haven't been able to really secure a date for the release on their behalf. I think Netflix have said, look, really heavy summer with everything that's been happening with the Queen. We wanted to release it earlier. Now is the time. We've got to release it. We've got all this material. We need the money back, which we paid you. So, will you be watching the documentary, Jess?
Yes, I will be watching the documentary. I'm very excited to see like the behind the scenes and like what do they do, where do they live, stuff like that. And I think it'll do them some good as well, because they got kind of like dehumanized in the witch hunt. So it'd be good for people to remember that they are actually people as well.
Yeah, human. Sometimes we just see them as these figures that we speak about in the media, but they are actually real people with a family. Chloe, will you be watching this over Christmas, and why?
No, I don't think I'll be watching, to be honest. I just won't watch it, but I think my nan will, so we might watch it together. Who knows? But yeah, I just hope it don't get twisted though, because some of the things on Netflix, they put like things up of their documentaries of life, and some of it cannot be true and stuff, and sometimes they make it different from what it is, cut different scenes. So I'm just hoping it's really like believable and true, really, Pan. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. That's the thing with editing films and reality TV. You only see 1 hour of what is weeks and weeks worth of content. Kate, will you be watching or not, and why?
Yeah, I'll definitely be watching it. I would have thought maybe those two would have control of what was shown. Maybe they'd have to approve it, but maybe it would be in their best interest to do that. I'm not sure how it works with Netflix. What was I going to say? I think it'll be interesting to get an insight into their life, because I feel like we only kind of saw the real them on the Oprah interview, which was just that one interview. So it'll be good to watch. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it will be definitely interesting to watch. Do you think this will impact their relationship with the royal family even further, and perhaps drive them apart a little bit? Kate?
Yes, I do. I do think, and I've always said on here as well, because it's come up quite a few times, they've said they want to respect their privacy. And now I feel like that's a bit hypocritical for the first time I'm saying that. I do think it will impact the relationship with the royals. I'm not sure it's entirely appropriate, but they're not senior members anymore. they do have to make a living. So there's that side too that you have to consider.
Yeah, that this is true. Chloe, do you think that this might be the final straw that broke the camel's back?
I just think, yeah, people are just definitely going to have their views on this, aren't they? There's going to be some scary ones, and there's going to be some positive ones. But whatever they say, people are just going to twist it anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, very, very true. I think we've had a comment about the fact that you can't buy beer in UK stadiums. Just want to clarify, you can buy beer in UK stadiums. You can't bring it in for when the live match is happening, but you can buy beer and stand within the stadium, just not sitting within the stadium with the beer whilst it's the game is going on. But you can buy beer, Elsie. Okay, and also on that note as well, with female matches as well, female versus male matches, that the cross supporters can sit together, whereas in male matches they have to be separated. So that's a little bit of an info for you there. But keep the comments coming. We're going to have a look at the poll now for the Harry and Meghan documentary, which we were talking about briefly before this. Let's have a look. Will you be watching Harry and Meghan's documentary? No, 88%. Yes, 11%. So there we go. But I'm sure lots of people speak about it, even though they haven't watched it, because everyone's got an opinion on them, it seems. I'll be watching it because I'm quite intrigued to see, same as you, Jess, about what they do day to day.
Yeah, I just know. I'm nosy.
I'm nosy too. Okay, well, that's our topics done for today. But you've come to the best part of the show. If you're still watching, then well done. We are going to be going into the hot seat now with Kate. Right, Kate. This is the part of the show where we get to ask you any questions we would like. Nothing is off the limits apart from explicit material, which I think is fair enough. It is only Monday lunchtime. After all, we do not need that nonsense. Okay, Kate. We'll kick off with Chloe because she always has a load of questions. So, Chloe, you first.
Okay, I'll do the sauciest one first. Date with Harry Potter or Matt Hancock?
Matt Hancock.
Why?
I just really like him. And it wouldn't be Harry Potter, it would be Daniel Radcliffe, unless he dressed up as Harry Potter. But with Harry Potter, I was always into Slytherin, so I'd go more for Malfoy. So it'd definitely be Matt Hancock.
Stranger and stranger.
Okay. Malfoy or Matt Hancock?
Matt Hancock.
Okay, that jungle girl.
Yeah, watch out, Matt Hancock. She's coming to get you.
Really like Matt.
Right, Jess, your turn.
If you could have any talent in the world, what would it be?
I'd love to be able to sing really well. I think I could have been a pop star, maybe. Maybe I'd have to learn to dance as well. But that's what I wanted to be when I was younger. So, and then I found out I couldn't sing. It was very disappointing.
Oh, God.
That's
Same.
sad.
That is sad. Get some lessons, sweetheart.
Yeah, it doesn't. They can fix your tone and if you can hit certain sounds or whatever it is, but it still doesn't make it nice to listen to.
If you could have 3 dinner guests, you could pick anyone, dead or alive, to bring to your dinner party. Who would they be and why?
Oh, I've asked this so much, but I've never thought about mine. Okay, first one would be.
Is it?
Sorry?
Is it Matt Hancock, the first one?
No, it's actually not. Right, Elon Musk would be the first one. Second one would probably be. Oh God.
Today, please, Kate.
Oh, sorry. John Kennedy, JFK.
Okay.
And then the third one would probably be. I don't know, Britney Spears. That would make
Oh, that's a really interesting mix. I'd love to see those people sitting with each other as well. That would be very interesting. Okay, good answers. Chloe, final one from you and then one from Jess, and then we'll wrap.
Let me pick a saucy one then. Okay, this one. Would you date a man that was obsessed with cats, like every single thing in his house was cats, and disliked dogs?
I really like cats. I think that would be a bit too much for me. Depends how much I like them before I found out they were obsessed with cats, maybe.
When you walked into his house, there was a massive picture of his cat, but not you.
Yeah, I could deal with that. I'm a cat lover too, so I have to understand from that point. So it would be a deal breaker for me.
And I have a pooch, as you all know, Mr. Monster Ralph Lauren, and I have a picture of him in my kitchen. There's nothing wrong with having a picture of your cat. I've got a picture of my dog, so you know, a bit crazy. Jess, one final one from you, please.
My final question is: what is your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve is people who use the statement "educate yourself" online, because I just see it so much. And what are they really saying? That's a bit of an interesting pet peeve. I just hate it when people say it like, "What are you talking about? Educate yourself." It's just people don't say it as much anymore, but they used to about a topic. They're like, "Educate yourself."
An overused phrase, I think, is very annoying.
Yeah. Can I just say one last question? Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, you can.
Who would you take to space on the Hot Topic panel, and why?
Out of today, I'd probably say Pandora. I reckon you'd want to go.
I'm fuming.
Hey, I'm there. If Elon gives us VIP tickets, then I'll jump on board. Okay then. Well, that was a fab discussion today, girls. Thank you so much. You can catch all of the girls over on our Instagram. They are tagged on our stories. You can see what they're up to day to day with all their page 3 bits. And you can also catch up with our playlist on Facebook, the Daily Star playlist, where you can catch up with all the episodes which have been going on for months and months and months now. So if you want to see how the panel has changed over the years, we've still got a couple of the originals here. We've got some newbies on board as well to see what they're up to. And if you're tuning in on Twitter, you can also follow the girls on there too. We will be back next week at a time to be confirmed. And girls, thank you so much for coming on.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.